Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're going to be answering questions and comments. We're going to prioritize members, but I'm going to try to answer everyone's comments and questions if I can. It's the best time of year to buy skis. There are some stellar deals. Oh, speaking of which deals, before I forget, I found a pair of Atomic Bent 110s for $375 on REI. I will link that down below. It's like the whole world must be upside down because REI is almost never the cheapest deal in town, but they must need to download this ski, so I will put a link down to that. I think that is a great deal. I might even pick it up myself. But now back to what we were talking about. First off, a big thanks to our members. You guys really help keep the electricity running every month, so I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to try to prioritize your questions. So without further ado, let's jump into questions and comments. The first question is an email from Hunter. They say, so I get really addicted and after one season I have a full quiver. Relatable. I'm wondering if I should sell a pair and grab a more dedicated carving ski in order to progress into solidly intermediate, moving toward advance. Me, 6'6", 1 year of skiing mostly blues under the right conditions, nervous on cat tracks and narrower terrain. Okay. I ski Mount Bachelor in the Pacific Northwest. My quiver now is a 2023 Meier Skis 184. Thinking about selling for octos based on your review, less confident after hearing from Ski Essentials. Did you email them or? Okay, I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of the Ski Essentials stuff lately. 2023 Headcore 93, 192. Last time I skied them, they were too light for the PNW crud. Yep, that tracks. 2023 Rossi Super Black Ops. Haven't skied yet. I skied the Black Ops Sender, so I'm not sure how much DNA they share, but I at least have a vague idea of what those are like. 13P Woodsman 108 and a 186 got late, great for the chop, but not the most nimble. 2023 QST Blank 194, feel like I would have been happier in the 106s. Yeah, I mean the blanks are just very wide, they're kind of hard on my hips. I don't know, man, you're the best. Hunter, that's quite the quiver for somebody who is fairly new. Hunter, the biggest question I have for you is, have you skied on the Meier Skis and do you like it? If you like it, just stick with it. But it's more of a washed out turn and a freestyle ski. If you're trying to advance in your carving, I mean, selling them for the octos makes sense in theory, but the octos is not a very heavy damp ski for PNW crud, so you may find similar issues with the octo that you have with the Headcore 93. I mean, I like the Headcore 93, but I know what you're talking about. They are lighter skis. So, I don't know, maybe put a pin in that. Try the Meier Skis. There's no shortage of people who want to buy them. And then if you're like, oh, this tail's a little too washed out, or I don't like the way that the tail stands at the end of the turn, especially being a bigger guy like myself, then try out the octos. But, you know, there's no need to like jump ship right away. It's not urgent. You know what your quiver's really missing for the Pacific Northwest? A ski that I would want if I lived where you live. Certainly like try them before you just go and buy them. But honestly, with where you're at, intermediate going to advance, I would try the Vocal Kendo 88. Those skis are really damp. They get through the PNW crud well, Pacific Northwest. I just don't want to say it every time. Getting through the Pacific Northwest crud and having a ski that's gonna carve well and a ski for a bigger guy like myself, I would definitely at least try the Vocal Kendo 88. Now they're called the Vocal Mantra 88. But honestly, I would say that that's probably what your quiver's missing. You could also go with a Nordic Enforcer 99 for 2025. Make sure it's 2025 or newer. I don't like the older version. That may scratch that itch. It's just a little wide and beefy for somebody who wants to focus on carving, who's in that intermediate to advanced area. But, you know, Vocal has a very specific kind of ski style. But where you're at, I bet you'd really like it. So that would be my big suggestion. If you get a chance, try the Vocal Kendo 88. If money's no object and you're willing to just buy a pair of skis sight unseen, maybe go for that. I typically recommend people try stuff though. But from where I'm standing, that seems like that's the next ski to fill your quiver. And I don't know, pick something from here that you would replace. Maybe replace the Headcore 93, the Rossi Super Black Ops, if you don't like either of those skis. But I'm not seeing any like really bad skis here that you need to unload. Or if I am seeing a ski I'm just not familiar with maybe. But all in all, you have a good quiver. but I bet you would really love the Kendo 88 if you want to focus on your carving and you need a ski to get through some kind of crud and, I don't know, like wet, warm snow. I bet you would absolutely fall in love with that Kendo 88. It was called the Volkl Kendo 88, and you may still find skis on sale for that, but now going into 2025, they call it the Volkl Mantra 88. They've kind of merged it into that Mantra line. But either name, it's the same ski, and I bet you would really, really like it. So try that out. I think that'd be a great fit for what you're describing. Anyway, Hunter, thank you for being a member. Thank you for supporting us here over at Rickety Ski Reviews, and great quiver. I really think you've built out something nice. Yeah, the QST blanks, you probably would like the 106, but you know, splitting hairs. Got the head core 93, the Meier core. This is a very smart quiver. I think a lot of people could learn from how you stack this. You know, and always, like, the quiver just has to serve you, so nobody knows better than you. Are there days that you're missing where you feel like you don't have anything that fits what you need? If not, then you probably have a pretty good quiver. This one isn't a question so much, but I do want to talk about it. This message comes from Tyler. Hi Elliott, I bought an Octo and QST 106 following your advice. Do you have a tip jar or somehow I can send you a small tip, or do you prefer YouTube membership? YouTube actually takes like half of it or something. So if you guys do want to do it, I've got a company Venmo. I'll see if I can link it. I don't know if YouTube will let me, but if you search Rickety Ski Reviews on Venmo, it should be there. I live on the East Coast, New Jersey, but most of my skiing is done out west. 1 to 2 weeks in Colorado, 1 to 2 weeks in British Columbia. I'm advanced, hoping to progress expert this season. 100% comfortable down any single black while maintaining speed and turn shape. The harder Whistler double blacks will result in me falling, which I don't mind and actually enjoy due to the challenge. I'll try an on-piste run with a large mandatory drops. I love steep and technical glade and mogul runs with mandatory turns. I'm 5'9". I ski 173. Will the Octo be okay and inconsistent on level snow days? Days 1 and 2 after powder day. A 95mm would flourish here, but do my Octos and QST 106 cover the in-between well enough without sacrificing much performance? Would you use Octo or the QST 106 for these days? Thanks, Tyler. Tyler, that is a great question. The Octo and QST 106 is a very, very smart 2-ski quiver. In fact, I'm a little jealous. I think it might be a little bit smarter than what I have going, because I have the Atomic Maverick 88 Ti and the QST 106, and there's a little bit of crossover between what's good with the QST and what's good with the Maverick. I mean, I like to think that that's a pretty good setup for me, but the Octo is like got the short radius turns, it's a little bit more responsive. It does some things a little bit better with carving than the Atomic Maverick. I mean, they're very close, but I kind of think that is a perfect ski quiver for what you're describing. Now, what you're describing with the snow left over, it just depends on where you are and the climate. If it's really wet, heavy snow, neither of these skis are going to do very well. You need what we call like a crud cutter, so like a Nordica Enforcer 99 for 2025. A Stokely Storm Rider does really well with it. A Volkl M6 Mantra, even a Volkl Kendo does pretty well with it. So it just depends on what you're talking about with leftover snow, but I would guess that like a couple days after a storm, QST 106 is still gonna be great. Or if it's been a few days with no snow and it's been groomed over, the Octo is gonna be great. I think you have like the closest thing to full coverage that you could get. Yeah, you could get something really wide for cat skiing and you know, whatever. And yeah, you could get something really narrow if you really want to ping things. And oh, you could have a safe bet ski for in between. But honestly, you should be able to cover like 95% of ski days with your ski quiver. I think you did a great pick. This is how you know I'm not like money oriented, because it's like, you know, we make you get a percentage or whatever whenever you do the affiliate links, and I'm just like, no, you're good. You're good. This is a great quiver. You probably don't need any other skis. If you go somewhere with really wet, sloppy snow in the spring, consider getting a crud cutter for maybe whatever next ski you're gonna buy. But all in all, I give your ski quiver like an A+. I think it's really, really stellar. And I think you should have most things pretty well covered. All right, Ishgul89 says, hi, unrelated, but I was hoping for some advice on deciding what to pull the trigger on as a daily driver skiing the Alps this season. I'm 5'10" and 165 pounds, or 178, and I really can't decide between the Salomon QST 98 and a Fischer Ranger 102. I don't really have a way to demo them, so I don't really know how to choose. I have a background in racing, which fell really short due to injuries, so I know my way around carving. Let's call it an L6. I have no idea what that means. That sounds official though. And now I would enjoy a less demanding ski that can get me into POW and maybe even a little park. And switch skiing, not a priority though. I think the extra width will feel nice since the Alps either get fresh snow or slush these days, but I wouldn't want to sacrifice edge, hold, and grip for perfect groomers that we get pretty often. I'm looking specifically into those 2 skis because I get some pretty decent deals on them, but any advice would be appreciated. Also, I was thinking of pairing any of those 2 skis with a Salomon Shift or Pivot 15 for a cast upgrade in the future, just to get in some quick tours in the side country. Would it be a good idea? I'd certainly still ski those primarily in the resort. Thank you in advance to anyone who will take some time to give me some advice. I've used the Shifts and thought they were fine. I have not tested the Pivot. I've had race versions of the Pivot from earlier on, and I've had the Look SPX 12. I am gonna review some pivots in the future, but I can't give you an opinion on that. So, you know, I know that both are great bindings. It's hard to go wrong with either of those options. I do like the Look bindings when they're made of metal, and I believe the Pivot 18 is. So I think that if they're similarly priced, the Pivots will probably outlast the Shifts, but the Shifts may have more utility. So just, you know, make your own decision on that. I'm not gonna give you advice for like off-trail skiing in the Alps because I've not done that, and I've done very, very little on-trail skiing in the Alps, so take that with a grain of salt. But if you have a racing background, either of those skis should be fine, the Fischer Ranger 102 or the Salomon QST 98. Now, another giant grain of salt is I've not skied the Fischer Ranger 102, I've only skied the Fischer Ranger 90. I've been in talks with Fischer about getting more skis, but it's been really difficult, which is weird because some like channels they seem to have no issue with. I'm hoping I can get on some Fischer skis going forward, but they're kind of hard to get a hold of, and I'm not sure what's going on over there. But for me, all of that aside, between a Salomon QST 98 and a Fischer Ranger 102, honestly, I would go with a Salomon QST 98. I think if you have any racing experience, you're gonna be able to get that on edge. I think if you have racing experience, either ski is a good option, but what you're getting, in my opinion, is a little bit better off-trail performance with the Salomon QST 98. Now, I've only skied the Fischer Ranger 90, so it's hard for me to give it a really like fair shake, but I've not skied on the Fischer Ranger 102, but just what I know from the Fischer Ranger 90, I think that you get more diversity from the QST 98 because it's able to do really well on trail. It's got that double sidewall, so it feels really good when you get it on edge. But it is very, very fun off trail and really punches above its weight for what width it has. Like, it feels wider than it actually is, which is good for you because if you want to go on trail and enjoy fresh snow, you're going to be able to do that without having to have a really wide ski all the time daily driving. Now, my brother daily drives a Fischer Ranger 102 and he seems to really like it, so I think you're down to 2 pretty good options. But for me, I would lean towards the Salomon QST 98, partially because it's known to me. I haven't skied that other ski, but also just in general, I think the QST 98 provides a lot of value. And there's some really good deals. I'll put links down below. Also, Ishkul89, I've seen your other comments kind of in passing. I've gotten so busy and I get a ton of like Instagram DMs and people asking me for ski advice, and I cannot answer all of them. I just cannot. So if you have a timely question or something that you really want to get answered, become a channel member today. I did the pricing almost as low as I could pretty much. And so if you really want to get your questions answered, as I go into winter, I'm gonna prioritize channel members. And when we get into our peak busyness, I'm just gonna do channel members because it's just much easier to actually accomplish that. I can't answer everyone's questions. So consider becoming a member. It's a good way to prioritize your question over other people's. So anyway, just my plug for the channel membership. Overall, great question, and I hope you found that helpful. And like I said, I will put a link down below. If you please, it doesn't cost you anything. If you're gonna make a purchase, please use those affiliate links because that is a large part of our revenue here on the channel. So I'm happy to do this kind of for free, for fun, or you know, whatever, buy wherever you need to, but I'm happy to do this for you. But just please consider using that link because that is a way for you to give back to the channel and it doesn't cost you any additional money. Okay, Sam Hoff says, looking for a ski. What ski would you recommend for free ride in the Pacific Northwest? I already have a pair of Mantras or Manitous for all mountain days, looking for something wider. I live in Washington and looking for a 110 to 120 ski. So what I told them is, and if you DM me on Instagram, I try to answer this stuff, but it's similar to the YouTube comments. I really prioritize channel members. They're helping support the channel, so I'm gonna put them at the top. But I told them, honestly, I sent them the link and I have my whole ski video of my favorite powder skis from this past season. But for them, personally, at a 110 to 120, and again, you know, maybe I don't understand free ride. So let me just talk about what I ski. I ski on trail, then I also go off trail into the powder and into the bramble. And I like big open powder lines, but you know, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not doing like big open chutes or anything. I'm doing like off trail open powder lines. I'll sometimes take stuff that's pretty steep or pretty open, but you know, I don't want to give the impression that I'm like out on the free ride world tour or anything like that. But my favorite skis for that width this past season was the QST 106. It's just phenomenal. It's very sandy, very surfy. It's you know how if you've ever snowboarded or heard someone talk about snowboarding, how good that feels in powder? This is the closest ski that's ever gotten to replicating that. Just how surfy and open it feels. It feels good on trail. The 106 is like the perfect width. It doesn't hurt my hips. I really like the QST 106. The Atomic Bent 110 is phenomenal for if you have like more kind of like you got to get in between the brush and the bramble. And the Black Crow's Atris was also phenomenally fun. It's a lot more sendy. I had to like really up my game, but I found as I got used to it, it really pushed me to do more and more fast and sendy lines. So those are my top 3 picks. I'll put links down below for all the deals on those skis right now. Like I said, you can pick up a Bent 110 for $375 at REI. I don't know how REI has the lowest prices, but there you go. And yeah, I think there's still some QST 106 kicking around. And you can absolutely find Black Crow's Atrises that are steeply discounted from what they normally are. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Hopefully I helped a few people out with my questions and comments. Yeah, I love doing this. I love helping you guys out. I hope you found it helpful. If you sent me an email or comment and I missed it, you know, feel free to resend it. I just get a ton of them. If you're a channel member, make sure you put that in the description because that is how I filter things out. I hope you guys like this. If you have your own comments on people's questions, or if it's something that's on the cusp of my knowledge, feel free to leave a comment down below. I love seeing you guys comment on each other's stuff and helping each other out. It's really just a very positive and supportive community we've built. And I don't know, I'm super proud of it that you guys are so cool and so nice in the comments. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. If you're shopping for skis currently, please use all of my affiliate links down below. That is a free way of supporting the channel, but only if you're buying stuff anyways. I'm not gonna pressure you guys ever to buy stuff. We also have channel memberships, like I said down below. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking the time to watch my content and taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.